Hi, welcome to Cruise Day Fun. My name is Joy, and this is my husband, Dan.
Hey! So today we're going to talk about what you need to do before you go on a cruise. Before you go on a cruise, hopefully, well before you go on the cruise, you've already paid off your cruise. Every cruise line has a deadline for when you need to make that final payment. So be sure you have it all paid off. Otherwise, you're not going anywhere.
Oh boy.
Yeah. We have another video, which I'll link above, that talks about how you can budget and pay for a cruise, how you can afford to do that. And you might want to check that out if you're not familiar with that process. The other thing you're going to need is your documentation. Typically that means a passport, and more increasingly, different ports and the cruise lines themselves are requiring that your passport be valid for 6 months beyond the end of your cruise.
Wow.
If your passport's not valid for at least 6 months beyond the end of your cruise, the cruise line might say, sorry, you can't go.
Oh.
So be sure you have a passport that's going to be good for a long time, 6 months or more past the end of the cruise.
Exactly.
Every cruise line is also going to give you some sort of documentation to show that you're supposed to be on the cruise when you show up at the cruise port, kind of like a boarding pass on an airline.
Mm-hmm.
You'll have a cruise contract and all kinds of other documents, some of which you don't really need to print out, but you'll want to print that boarding pass, that document that says you're supposed to get on board. They typically have a barcode, but be sure you have that so you can get on board the ship. That's very important. Most cruise lines will also have you print out luggage tags.
Oh, yeah.
That helps them know where your luggage that you're leaving with the porter goes, so it gets to your cabin. Disney, I know they do a little differently. They'll mail out the luggage tags. It's not the end of the world if you get to the port and you don't have luggage tags, or you don't have enough luggage tags. There'll be someone there who can assist you with that, but I tend to think that having the specially made printed up ones with all your information is the best way to get your luggage to your rooms on time and without any issues.
Right, and it will just, in the long run, save you a lot of time and hassle.
Yeah.
If you have that already. And some people put all their special documents in like a folder or a special like bag.
That's right.
In a big Ziploc bag, or sometimes special bags, so they know that they can cross it off their list. Documents.
Organization, organization comes in very handy, and you're bringing up a good point. It reminds me also, be sure that passport and your boarding pass is not in the luggage that you're handing off at the curb. You'll need that when you go into the terminal to show so you can board.
Yeah, definitely.
Also your credit card, but we'll get into more of that. What about, what else do you need to do before you cruise?
So before you go on a cruise, you want to make sure that you stay healthy. And we like to take airborne.
What's airborne? People
airborne
might not know what
is a preventative. It's helps support your immune system. We're not paid by airborne at all, but this is what we like to do.
Yeah.
And you don't have to do it if you don't want to, but we just like to ensure us that we're healthy.
Yeah, this is more of a suggestion, and there's other products out there, but we typically take the airborne gummies for the 2 weeks before we go on a cruise, just to help keep us as healthy as possible. There's other things you can take, though.
And make sure that you have all your medication that you need for your prescription medication, that you have enough for the whole cruise and after the cruise. And you also want to make sure that you have your over-the-counter medicine, such as cold or pain relief or headache relief, or just a couple Band-Aids.
Yeah.
And just in case something like that happens where you need something, instead of paying an arm and a leg, you have it available already.
Bring it with you.
Bring it with you.
What if you're prone to seasickness?
So if you're prone to seasickness or motion sickness like I am, you want to make sure you have your Dramamine before you go on the cruise.
That's right.
And you start taking it either an hour before or the day before, just so your body gets used to it. And you want to make sure that you have extra, so when you get back on land, you have the motion sickness to get your land legs back.
So you continue to take it for a little bit past the time you get off the ship.
So I don't get land sick. I get reacquainted to the the land.
Get reacquainted with having your land legs.
Exactly.
So what about health concerns while you're actually on the cruise?
So some people like to bring Clorox wipes, so they make sure that, if they're germaphobes, they like to wipe everything down.
Well, you don't have to be a germaphobe. We like to wipe down the cabin. They do a great job cleaning, but it's a confined environment, and people get sick on cruises.
And because it's a confined environment, thank you. Make sure you wash your hands every time you go to the buffet or go anywhere there's food. Make sure you wash your hands before and after.
That's how you can prevent the spread of
the norovirus.
Yes, or anything.
No one wants to be ill on their cruise.
And what if you don't have a chance to wash your hands? Like you're just walking through the ship and you touched a surface or something. Is there anything else you can carry with you or you can look for to help you out?
Yeah, we carry the Purell wipes.
Oh, yeah.
So some people carry like the little bottles. Some people carry like the wipes.
Or the gel.
The gel, exactly. So
you're talking Purell. That's the brand name. But it's basically a hand sanitizer.
Right.
Yep. And a lot of the ships, in fact, I think every ship we've been on will have Purell wipes or Purell gel dispensers, hand sanitizer out there to use as you're going around the ship, especially in the food areas.
Exactly.
Yep. That's very important. Another thing to consider, and this relates back to health too, is insurance. Cruise insurance or trip insurance. It depends on your situation. We sometimes get it. We sometimes have not. But, if you're in a high-risk category for potential, getting sick or having, something happen, and you're in another country when you're on a cruise, your typical health insurance that you use at your local doctor's office or pharmacy isn't probably going to work in a lot of these other countries you go to. Cruise insurance or trip insurance provides a lot of other benefits as far as if your cruise gets canceled, delayed, luggage is lost, that sort of thing. So consider that. We don't get paid to promote this. This is just something that we think, at least look at it. I know it's extra money to spend, and hopefully it's money that you spend that you don't actually get any money back from because your cruise went great and you didn't get sick. But consider doing it. All the cruise lines that I've seen offer it directly through the cruise line, but we have a cruise coming up where we're going to be doing some driving, and then we're actually going on a couple different cruises. If you're flying, whatever, you might want to consider trip insurance, and that covers more than just the cruise time. It covers the time leading up to it and after it. Tripinsurance.com, which they promote on Cruise Radio. That's a popular site. We've used that, and we like that. That's another option you can do.
And God forbid if there was a medical emergency, it just gives you the peace of mind knowing that you have that coverage already in place. Yeah, and you hear horror stories every once in a while about somebody who got sick overseas and had to be airlifted or whatever. So having that insurance is peace of mind, unless you just enjoy your cruise. So consider the insurance, and that's just something you'll have to decide for yourself if you want to go ahead and do that or not. Exactly.
Also, if you need to request any special accommodations for during the cruise, if you're diabetic and you need a needle dispenser, if you use a CPAP or a BiPAP and you need distilled water, the cruise lines will typically be able to help you out with any of those things. Also, if you need a wheelchair or anything like that, plan ahead, give the cruise line a call, and they will help you arrange that. Or
even if you have special food allergies, let the cruise lines know, because the last cruises that we've been on, we informed them of the allergies, and they were so prepared for us.
They were very on top of it. So any special needs that you can think of at all, check with the cruise line. So you don't have to worry about it, and you can just enjoy your cruise.
Exactly.
What else should you do before you cruise?
So you want to make sure that you let your friends and family know where you are, and a way for them to contact you in case of a family emergency or any type of emergency that's not on the cruise, that they have a way of getting a hold of you.
Right.
So, we give our either our closest family members an itinerary so they know how to reach us.
Right.
Most cruise lines have a number that you can give to your family or friends in case of emergency that they can call, so they have access to you.
Yeah. And when you book the cruise, they're going to ask for an emergency contact number. When you do that, you might just want to think that's the person, or that's at least a person that you should also give the information to, so they know what's going on. An example is on our last cruise, I gave information as to what cruise line we're going on and whatever, but I didn't give specifics as far as the itinerary or the name of the ship. My mom basically knew that we were going on a Carnival cruise. So happened, this was during Hurricane Dorian, and people in my family and your family were starting to freak out. They're like, we know they're on a cruise, but we don't know which ship. And they start wondering, and if they hear a horror story about one ship that could be 100 miles away from our location, they're thinking, oh my gosh, I think they might be on that one. So that's good to let somebody know so they can spread that information on.
Have even that peace of mind too. Just
peace of mind for them. That's right. What else should you arrange for?
So if you have pets, or if you have kids, you want to make sure for your pets that you arrange their time where they're going to be staying early. So, and that they, whoever's going to take care of your pet, knows the time frame that you'll be gone and when you'll come back to pick them up. Right. And we typically like to drop off our dog a day before we go on the cruise. Yep. So that way we're not worried about our pet.
Right.
And if you have kids and your kids are staying with a relative, make sure that everything is already taken care of and they understand everything.
The key is to plan ahead. Don't wait till last minute, especially if it's a particularly busy time. You might not get into where you need to go for your pet care. What do you call it? Pet hotel?
Pet hotel or any boarding place. Right. For your pet. Speaking
of pets, we have another video about dealing with pets and cruising, and we'll put a link here so you can check that out if you haven't already seen that. Another thing you want to be sure you plan for before you go on a cruise is plan for how you're going to get to the cruise port. There are a lot of options. Some hotels in the areas near ports will have an option where if you stay at the hotel, they'll let you park your car while you're on the cruise and give you a lift to the port.
Nice.
That's one option. Yep. Another option is to just park directly in the parking garage or parking lot there at the cruise port. That's a little more expensive option, but it's certainly the most convenient. You can just get in your car and get on the cruise ship and get back in the car once you get off the cruise ship. There's also several services that offer cruise shuttles to various parking locations. So plan that ahead of time. You don't want to be stuck getting an option
or in line really waiting for your Uber or your ride.
Yep. And some ports, like Port Canaveral, is one of our favorite ports, but it's not really close to a really big city. Orlando's well over an hour away, so Lyft and Uber might not even be an option at that port. Yeah. So look into the options ahead of time. And
make sure make sure you have all your reservations, such as your excursions are already set up. You have your specialty dining, all your reservations for specialty dining already, and even shows. You have the reservations for your shows before you get on the cruise, because if you try to make the reservations for your specialty dining or for excursions or shows, they may be sold out, and then you won't be able to enjoy the things that you wanted to do.
Yeah, we were aware of situations where if you don't reserve for certain specialty restaurants before you go on the cruise, or certainly for excursions before you go on the cruise, it may be totally booked even from the moment the first person steps on board. So be sure you arrange for those and make reservations ahead of time. Shows don't always require reservations, but some of them, it's becoming more common that shows need reservations. So like Joy said, be sure you arrange for those ahead of time. Another thing you need to be sure you do is there's going to be expenses while on the cruise. Be sure you have a credit card or some sort of method of payment that they'll accept according to what they indicate on their website. Have that with you. And it may not be a bad idea to contact that credit card company and let them know that you're going to be traveling out of the country. Those are the cruise ports, so you don't have a problem if you want to use that credit card while you're in port. Another option you might want to consider is prepaying those gratuities before you go on the cruise. Just a little less expense to worry about after you get off the cruise.
And make sure you pack your essentials. And what I mean essentials is, you know, make sure you have like your medication, a light jacket or something, your skin protection, whether it be insect or sun, and make sure that you just have those essentials so you don't have to pay for them extra at the ports.
You'll pay more if you don't have them ahead of time.
Definitely.
And Joy did another video that I'll put a link up above here for you about packing and packing hacks that you might want to consider. When you go actually get on, this cruise day is finally here or is getting really close.
Yeah.
Plan on going ahead of time. Get there a little early. When we go on a cruise, we get there the day before. Whether you're flying in or driving in, there could be delays. A flight could be canceled. There could be bad weather. You could have transportation issues. Don't ruin the cruise by missing the ship because of a transportation issue. Get there ahead of time. We like to stay in a hotel the night before, a short distance, a few minutes away from the port. That way we don't have to stress out about it.
And you can start your vacation early.
That's right. So comment down below. What else do you think you should do before you go on a cruise? Any ideas about anything we've said here? Please share with us. We'd love to hear your comments and your ideas.
And give us a thumbs up if you like this video. And remember to subscribe so you're alerted to our other videos that are coming up.
Then hit the notification bell if you want to be alerted. Subscribe, notification bell. That's the best option. That way you're a super subscriber.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching. Bye.